Chapter 1, Level 1, Born Below the Banner. Before you can choose, the world assigns you. Class, minor noble. Name, your father's. Household, cold stone under a small banner. Starting gear, linen, bloodline, a cradle near smoke, and expectations older than your bones. This is not reward, it is debt with better bread. Others will decide what your hands are for. Prayer, service, marriage, war. The game begins before you understand the rules. Your castle is smaller than songs admit. Stone sweats in winter, smoke crawls along the rafters and stings your eyes. Damp wool scratches your neck. Bare feet learn the cold before they learn pride. Heat belongs to the hearth, and the hearth belongs to rank. You eat better than peasants when stores hold. You sleep under a roof when obedience holds. Comfort exists here, but it is rationed. At table, the first map appears. Father sits high. Mother speaks when space opens. Older kin take meat before you reach. Visiting retainers laugh too loudly because steel gives them permission. Servants move behind shoulders with lowered eyes and quick hands. Children watch from the edges. You learn the hidden controls: who eats, who stands, who kneels, who answers. Silence is not emptiness. It is a rank you practice early. The bell cuts the day into commands. Rise, kneel, eat after blessing. Cross yourself when fear has no name. Saints watch from painted boards, thin faces shining above candle smoke. Sin is not a story, it is a stain. Adults speak of softly. You learn that bread needs grace, storms need prayer, and one day, even a blade in your hand will need God named over it first. A stick becomes a sword because adults allow the lie. You swing at shadows beneath the banner, copying men who smell of leather and horse sweat. The first lesson is not victory, it is splinters in your palm. A cousin raps your knuckles when your grip is wrong. Someone laughs, someone corrects your feet. Play stops being play quickly here. Wood is only wood, but your hands are already being promised to steel. Above the hall hangs your family color, stitched by hands that do not inherit it. Men point to it when they speak of duty. Alliances, service. Sons owed to fathers, fathers owed to lords. Your name is said like property already counted. The banner warms no one, it only watches. You live beneath it, small and cold, learning the rule: noble blood is not freedom, it is a claim placed on your body. Your hands are still small enough to vanish inside your sleeves. They touch bread only after blessing. They fold when the bell orders prayer. Servants scrub bowls, lift rushes, carry ash, and keep their fingers from the table. Your father's grip closes around yours too hard, teaching without speech. At night, splinters bite from the wooden sword. Rank enters the body early. Long before command, your muscles learn permission. Before dawn, your mother packs wool, bread, and silence. Your father says another lord has room for a page. Room means service, service means removal. The door stands open, breathing cold into the hall. Your wooden sword is tied with your bundle, no longer a toy, not yet a weapon. Beyond the road waits a larger hall with sharper rules. Level 1 ends without reward. You do not win childhood. You are sent out of it. Chapter 2, Level 2, Page in another man's hall. Your bundle rides before you on a mule, tied tighter than your wishes. Wool, bread, a spare shirt. The road is cold, and your family's small banner shrinks behind you. Orders ride in your father's voice. Do not shame us. Do not speak first. Do not forget whose blood bought this chance. Chance is the polite word. You are being traded upward. The wooden sword knocks against your knee with each mile. Noble birth opens the gate. It does not choose the road. Smoke finds you before the steward does. The great hall glows with fire and breath. Rushes rot underfoot. Servants move fast, bowls high, eyes low. Dogs wait beneath benches for bones and mistakes. Tapestries hang above the smoke line, bright lies in thread. Seating climbs by rank. Farthest from the door, the high table sits like a map of power. No one explains the rules. Everyone is already obeying them. The steward teaches without raising his voice. Stand by the post. Bow lower to the Lord, less to his son, never first to a servant. Bring water before thirst becomes a command. Hold the cup with both hands, eyes down. Answer softly. Too quick sounds proud, too slow sounds stupid. A cuff fixes your posture. Laughter fixes your posture. Laughter fixes the lesson deeper. Manners are not polish here. They are armor made of fear. The first bell cuts sleep from you in the dark. Cold floor. Stiff fingers. Crossed hands. Latin murmured into smoke, half meaning, half threat. You learn when to kneel, when to rise, when bread is handed, when bowls must be carried, when errands begin again. Sin has hours, so does obedience. By night, your feet ache and your eyes burn. The bell does not care. It resets you. By the third week, your mouth has learned to stay shut. Your eyes do the work. The Lord eats first. His brother interrupts and lives. A grey-haired cook knows which guest matters more than a young noble with clean sleeves. One smile means favor. Another means debt. An insult can be swallowed only by someone strong enough to answer later. The hall is a board. You own no pieces. Attention is your first tool. Then the real nights arrive, dripping rain onto the rushes. Not legends, men, wet cloaks, mud on spurs, armor straps bitten tight across swollen shoulders, scarred gauntlets tossed near the fire like tools. They smell of horse, iron, old sweat. Servants shift benches before being asked. Pages make space. Their speech is blunt. Their laughter is tired. Authority hangs from them heavier than mail. You stand close enough to serve, not belong. Your wooden sword stays under your pallet now, warped at the grip. One older page finds it and grins. No one needs to say why. Outside, steel rings in the yard. Blunted edges still break skin. Harness buckles bite into flesh. Men practice cuts meant for faces, joints, throats. You lift the toy once. It answers with nothing but old habit. Then you put it away. The game has not ended. The cost has changed. Service edits you quietly. Back straight, chin lowered, hands still unless commanded. Fear learns to wait behind your teeth. You are nearer the nights now, near enough to smell leather, horse steam, oiled steel. Still below them. In the yard, older boys carry shields, hold reins, take harder blows. A bell sounds. You bow before you move. Etiquette is no longer a lesson. It is a weapon. Your body waits to become equipment. Chapter 3. Level 3. The body becomes equipment. Morning strips the hall from you. No cup, no bow, no soft correction whispered through teeth. The yard waits beyond the door, grey with frost and churned mud. Older boys stand in lines. A master watches from under a wool hood. Rank remains. You still answer upward. But now instruction lands on muscle. Cold enters your sleeves. Straw sticks to your knees. Training unlocks quietly. No music. Craning unlocks quietly. No music. Just breath, mud, and eyes measuring how useful you may become. The wooden sword returns to your hand, but not as a toy. It is a blunt command. Strike. Block. Miss. Begin again. The grain tears your palm. A blow catches your wrist. Another your ribs. Pride bruises faster than bone. Nobody cheers a correct cut. Nobody mourns a bad one. Repetition becomes the lesson. Wood is still wood, but now it is rehearsing steel, and your body keeps the score. The horse is not a mount yet. It is money with legs, muscle under skin, warm breath in cold air. You climb badly. Leather creaks. The ground begins moving without asking you. Your hands clutch mane, reins, anything. The instructor laughs once. Then you fall. Mud fills your sleeve. Your thighs burn from gripping. Fear sits higher than pride. Mounted rank begins here, face down, learning that wealth can throw you. By noon, pride has no breath left. You run until your mouth tastes of iron. You lift sacks, drag posts, carry shields that pull your shoulders down. Hold the stance. Lower. Again. Your legs shake, your hands open without permission. The master does not explain courage. He lets your lungs do it. The body has a meter and it empties first. Rank means learning how much of yourself can be spent. First armor arrives as loaned weight. A padded jack, sour with old sweat. Stiff leather that bites under the arms. Mail lifted from a peg by someone with permission. The helmet drops over your ears and the world becomes breath and ringing. You want it to mean arrival. It means property. Another man's gear. Another man's risk. Your hands touch the future, then give it back when ordered. A bad guard earns the flat of a blade across your knuckles. A slow bow earns a shove into the mud. Older boys grin because rank lets them. The instructor watches your face, not your form. Crying only adds witnesses. So you swallow it. You rise when told. Pain marks the mistake more cleanly than words. This is the system now. Impact, correction, obedience. The lesson stays under the skin. The wooden sword no longer pretends. It points toward steel. Steel points toward open flesh. Every drill draws the line clearer. Wood bruises the hand. Steel will cut it. The body stands between them, learning to harden and fail. This is advancement, not freedom, not honor. A better weapon needs a better carrier, so you are shaped, struck, corrected, and made useful to violence. At dusk, nobody calls you ready. They simply hand you more weight. A saddle to carry. Reins to hold. A dented helm to scrub until your fingers split. Horses steam in the cold, rich enough to matter more than boys. Somewhere, a night with hard eyes measures your silence. The slot is not open yet. It is waiting. Your body has passed one test. It can be used. Chapter 4, Level 4, Squire to a Hard Master. Level 4 appears without trumpet. Squire unlocked. Control unchanged. Your back is straighter now. Your hands no reins, wood, mud, and pain. That only makes them more available. Before dawn, the bell gives you to another man's day. He is not a guide. He is a knight with debts, scars, orders, and a temper sharpened by rank. You stand close enough to serve him, not close enough to serve him, not close enough to matter. By candle stub, you work the harness piece by piece, cloth first, then oil, then the edge of a buckle scraped clean with a thumbnail gone black. Mail drinks rust if you let it. Plate sweats cold into your palms. From the hall, armor looks like rank made visible. Up close, it is needy metal, heavy, damp, expensive, never satisfied. You polish another man's future until your hands smell of iron and grease. The stable is warmer than the hall and more dangerous. You measure oats like coin. You curry dried sweat from hide, pick stones from hooves, check shoes, straps, bit, girth. One careless hand earns teeth. One wrong knot earns a fall. Manure steams under your boots. The horse's transport, weapon, ransom, status. It eats while men go thin. If it sickens, lames, or dies, a knight can drop a rank without moving. Instruction comes with no lesson screen. Your master shows once, fast, strap here, blade angle there, shield higher. When you miss, his fist finds your ear before his words do. He corrects your grip by crushing your fingers around the hilt. He calls you slow, soft, costly. Then silence, worse than shouting. You learn to read his shoulder, his breath, the pause before pain. Close to him is not favor, it is range. Sealed wax becomes your quest marker. You carry it through smoke-thick halls, across the yard, past barking dogs and men sharpening tools. Then out onto roads where hedges, mills, bridges and fields belong to names above yours. You learn who delays a reply, who smiles at bad news, who feeds you, who does not. The map is a board, your feet cross it, other hands move the pieces. Behind the shut door, war loses its shine. You stand with the wine jug and hear men price burned barns, stolen cattle, broken teeth. A claim on a ford, a ransom for a cousin. 3 dead under a hedge, named only because someone must be paid. Your master lifts his cup without looking. Your hands obey. Level progress, listen. War is not battle yet. It is accounts, wounds, and old voices going flat. By dusk, the yard becomes an inventory screen with mud. Mail is rolled in oiled cloth. Helm and gauntlets go into a chest. Tack is tugged, spare straps looped, buckles counted twice. Bread, cheese, salt meat, oats. Not enough of any. You shout orders you once received. Servants bend under sacks. A carter curses softly. Your master's banner waits folded. Everyone carries weight. Only some will be remembered for it. Morning arrives before warmth. The bells ring, and the household turns into motion. You swallow nothing but sour spit. Your master mounts first, already looking past you. You check the horse's legs, the girth, the load, the precious animal breathing steam into cold air. Behind you, servants lift sacks. Ahead, the banner rises over mud. Level 4 ends at the gate. The road takes control. Chapter 5, Level 5, First Campaign Road. Level 5 unlocks with rope burns and cold fingers. No fanfare. You cinch bundles, test buckles, rub last night's oil into stubborn mail. Horses are counted by name before men are counted at all. Carts creak under barrels, tools, sacks, folded canvas. Servants load what lords call war. The bells pull the household apart. Advancement feels like this, leaving one master's yard to enter his debts on the road. The army's inventory breathes, kicks, leaks, and complains. Oxen strain at ruts. Mules snap at handlers. Barrels sweat, sacks split. A smith's hammer rings beside spare leather, bent nails, cracked wheels, spoiled onions. Lords point from horseback and call it command. Below them, unpaid hands lift, drag, stitch, and bleed. Lose one cart, and honor goes hungry. War moves because the low-born keep pushing it. Bright cloth climbs into the rain. Lions, crosses, colors stitched by patient hands. Above you, lords speak of honor, claim, right, and God's favor. Under you, the road becomes paste. Hems soaked black. Wheels sink to their hubs. Men shove until their boots vanish. One slips, rises brown to the waist, and keeps pulling. This is the campaign's first lesson. Glory rides high. Everything useful drowns below it. Before you eat, the horses do. Grain first, men later. You rub rain from your master's mount until your hands go numb, then lift each hoof and pick out roadstones with a knife tip. A stolen horse is ruin. A limping horse is almost the same. So you watch the dark beyond the picket line and listen for hoofbeats. One bad step, and your master's rank starts dragging behind him. Night does not open a rest menu. It assigns more work. You cut ditches with a borrowed spade. You coax wet wood into smoke. Bedding drinks rain. Mail must be wiped, straps mended, animals guarded. Supper is thin broth, hard bread, and silence around the pot. Men of rank find canvas and drier ground. Others curl in mud. The march stops. Service keeps moving. By the fourth wet morning, the army starts losing men to things no song names. Bread turns green at the edges. Salt meat stinks. Blisters split inside boots and fill with dirt. Lie smooth through seams like orders. Coughs pass from fire to fire. A carter falls beside a wheel and does not rise. Another man begs to turn back. No sword has appeared. Still, the roster shrinks. Survival gains experience quietly. Look lower than the banners. The army is hands. Blistered hands on cart shafts. Cracked hands kneading dough with dirty water. Burned hands turning pots. Cut hands holding tongs at the forge. Boys carry arrows, buckets, messages, anything light enough to make them useful. Common soldiers lift, dig, drag, and bleed before anyone learns their names. Noble war calls itself command. First, it spends the fingers that keep it alive. Smoke rises ahead, thin and wrong against the morning. No chapel bell calls this part, commands do. They run faster than carts. Your master snaps for his girth strap, then his sword belt, then silence. Horses toss their heads and stamp holes into the road. Men test edges on whetstones. Some cross themselves with muddy thumbs. The banners lift above filth. Combat has not begun. It is only loading, and already it feels like loss. Chapter 6, Level 6, First Blood. Then the waiting breaks. A bell strikes somewhere behind you, thin and hard. Horns answer from the line. Orders shove through the camp faster than sense can follow. Stand there, move there, hold, advance. Bright banners snap above the churned mud, pretending the world has pattern. Your hands tighten on steel because everyone else is tightening too. This is how battle begins, not with glory, with noise, pressure, and fear arriving early. The horses know before the men admit it. Ears flatten, eyes roll white. Sweat darkens the hide under saddlecloth and mail shadow. Foam gathers at the bit. You feel the reins twitch like a trapped nerve. A hoof slips, catches, hammers mud. This animal was wealth yesterday, status with a mane. Now it is weight, muscle, and panic in motion. If it breaks, it takes rank with it. The first line hits yours badly. Too close, too fast. The drill you learned had space in it. A yard, a count, a master's bark. Here, sound eats timing. Your hands remember the cut, the guard, the grip. Your feet forget the mud. Wood taught the shape. Steel teaches the price. A blade flashes where a practice stroke should be. You move late, and late is almost dead. Shield rims grind into your arm. Someone's shoulder drives the breath from you. Mud climbs your boots and holds. There is no duel here, only weight. A mouth gasps near your ear. Metal bangs against metal, too close to see. A gap opens between two bodies. Fear spends you before thought can. You shove steel into the space. Something gives. You do not feel brave. You feel room enough to breathe. The man beside you drops without a speech. His knee folds wrong. His weapon slips from his fingers and lands flat in the mud. One hand opens, closes once, then opens again. Breath leaves him in a wet sound and does not return. You do not know his name. A banner lifts above you, bright with honor. Below it, a body becomes weight. This is what closeness teaches. The line buckles, but you do not. That is the reward. Not a song, not a clean kill. Just knees locked, lungs working, orders still reaching you through the ringing in your skull. Men fall, men crawl, men vanish under boots and mud. You step where you are told, you lift the shield again. Survival registers quietly, a small advancement, continued existence, granted one breath at a time. After the noise cuts out, the field becomes a ledger. One strap split, 2 horses missing, 3 shields cracked. Your hands are red to the wrist, and not all of it is yours. A servant lies under a cartwheel, nameless as a broken buckle. Men asked for water. Steel bends. Priests move slowly. The banners still stand. The tally records the gain. You are alive. The cost column keeps filling. Your master finds you while the wounded are still making sounds. He looks first at your blade, then at your hands, then at your face. No blessing, no smile. Just the narrow measuring stare used on horses, armor, and men who might repay their keeping. An older knight says your name like an item recovered from mud. The dead are not cold yet. Your usefulness is already being counted. Chapter 7, Level 7, Knighted before the dead cool. Quiet arrives badly. It leaves flies, coughing, and wet ground that grips your boots. You are inspected in the space where shouting used to be. Older men circle with tired eyes. They do not ask what you believed. They do not weigh your soul. They see a body still upright, a sword still held, a name still usable beneath the banner. Requirement met, survived first combat. The system calls this promise. A cloth passes over the sword. Once, twice. Enough for ceremony, not enough for truth. Dark wetness stays in the fuller, where no prayer can reach. Years ago, wood taught your hands the shape of wanting this. Now steel answers with weight, edge, and residue. The same blade that opened a man is lifted for your making. Sacred tool. Battlefield tool. There is no second inventory slot for innocence. A handbell sounds once, thin in the wet air. The priest steps over a fallen man and opens his book. Damp wool clings to his sleeves. Latin comes out low and hard, older than your fear. He names service. Sin. The soul after the body is done obeying. Your bloodied hands stay still as his thumb marks a cross above the sword. Blessing does not erase blood. It gives blood a place in the order. Your knees enter the mud with a soft, ugly sound. It is warm in places, not from sun. The ground has held dying men better than it holds you. Your hands come together because the priest expects it, because your Lord watches, because your arms are too tired to do anything else. Knuckles split, nails black, blood under the prayer. You lower yourself and rise in value. That is the trick. Then his hand comes down, not hard, hard enough, shoulder, crown. The touch is brief, but everyone sees it land. Your lord leans close, smelling of sweat, horse, and wine. He raises you with the same hand that now claims your answer. Rank unlocked, knight, control transferred, service retained. Men witness it. The priest seals it. The dead give no opinion. Your name changes in public. Your debt becomes personal. The words leave your mouth before they feel like yours. Service. loyalty, defense, obedience. Each vow locks into place, quiet as a latch. You swear to guard your lord's rights, his lands, his honor, his wars. The title sounds upward. The path narrows. Yesterday you carried another man's gear. Today you carried another man's gear. Today you carry his will with your own name stamped on it. Promotion accepted. Someone calls you sir, and the sound sits wrong in the air. A wounded man keeps asking for water. No one answers fast enough. Flies find the open places first. Mud grips your boots. Blood dries on your sleeve, then cracks when you move. The banner still hangs above the field, bright and useless. Rank changes the mouth of the man speaking to you. It does not change the stink. The title gives you nothing you can eat. It demands everything that can be priced. Mail, helm, sword, shield, spurs. A horse strong enough to be seen. Men to clean what you wear and carry what makes you noble. Coin you do not have. Favors you will owe. Land you may squeeze. The level-up window closes. A ledger opens. Steel was the dream. Debt is the class feature. Chapter 8, Level 8. The cost of looking noble. New class unlocked, Knight. No purse added. No manor appears. Your hands close around a title, and the costs spawn around it. Mail must be patched. Helm padded, sword honed, shield repainted, saddle mended, spurs kept bright, horse fed, shod, guarded, servants paid or promised, straps snap, links split, replacements vanish into mud, repays begin before glory does. Looking noble is not his reward. Repairs begin before glory does. Looking noble is not a reward. It is upkeep with witnesses. Up close, steel is never finished. A rivet loosens. A mail ring opens like a bad tooth. Sweat salts the lining. Rain crawls under leather and leaves it soft, dark, ready to tear. The helm takes one dent and your skull inherits the bill. The sword loses its edge on bone, wood, and neglect. Smiths know your name now. So do creditors. War is still only rumor. The expense is already real. The horse costs more than some men earn in years. Oats, hay, beans, clean straw, iron shoes, a dry stall, hands to curry the coat, pick stones from hooves, rub sweat from the hide. The saddle drinks oil, the bridle cracks. One fever, one thrown shoe, one lame step, and your rank limps with it. A warhorse is a weapon with a stomach. It eats like a lord and can ruin you faster. Before anyone sees you, lower hands assemble the illusion. A boy buffs mud from your spurs until his knuckles redden. A woman stitches torn lining by rushlight. Stable hands feed the horse before they feed themselves. Someone carries your shield. Someone scrapes your boots. Someone empties the stink pail after you pass. Your rank looks whole because their work breaks into pieces behind you. Nobility is visibility purchased with other people disappearing. Income loads as fields on a map. Rent due at Martinmas. Grain owed after harvest. A fee at the mill. A hen here. A cart day there. Then rain flattens barley. Frost bites vines. Tenants arrive thin, caps in hand asking delay. Your armor does not wait. Your horse still chews. So the steward counts harder. Noble survival is not paid by land. It is pressed from hunger. The shortfall becomes its own bar, filling red. You borrow from a merchant with ink-stained fingers. You pledge next harvest before seed touches earth. A silver cup leaves the hall. A spare cloak goes to pawn. Wages wait, repairs wait, promises do not. Land stands surety, so does your sword arm. Every coin buys time, and time charges interest. Debt is a lord without a banner. Now the household opens another menu. Marriage. Not love. Terms. Her dowry could mend your accounts and keep rust from your mail. Her kin could shield a claim. Her childbed is discussed like a field that must produce heirs before rivals smell weakness. Your name is weighed against debts, scars, horseflesh, manners, rumors. Hands bargain over cups of watered wine. A priest may bless it later. First, families price the bond. You remain useful. That is why you are chosen. Then wax cracks on a public notice. A tournament is called 3 days' ride away. Heralds promise honor. Merchants smell wages. Lords bring daughters, creditors, and sharp eyes. The lists offer prizes, captured horses, ransom, applause, maybe a name worth lending against. They also offer broken ribs, dead mounts, and shame in daylight. You read the fee twice. To turn danger into coin, you must first buy permission to bleed. Chapter 9, Level 9, Tournament Build. You do not ride to the tournament for pleasure. Pleasure is for men whose accounts close clean. Yours do not. Mail needs patching. The destrier needs oats. Servants need wages before loyalty thins. The lender wants his smile returned in silver. So you arrive beneath painted banners with borrowed polish on your steel. Level 9 opens in the lists. Entry is public. Advancement is ranked. Nothing here is separate from money. The field is dressed before it is used. Ropes mark lanes through churned earth. Banners snap from poles. Noble colours spill over viewing stands like fresh paint over old rot. Heralds shout names. Merchants shout prices. Horses stamp, sweating under bright cloth and tight tack. The crowd sees order. You see lance splinters near the rail. Mud under silk shoes, loose straps, nervous hands, and all the ways a fall can charge interest. Before anyone cheers, you grind through maintenance. A servant checks buckles with cold fingers. Another tightens the girth while you curse him for being slow. Blunted weapons wait on a rack, harmless only in a herald's mouth. Your horse circles until steam lifts from its neck. You flex old bruises, shoulder, ribs, knee. The upgrade holds for now. Your body is equipment again, polished, strapped, tested, and still ready to fail. Coins change hands before lances do. Men lean over rails and price your bones by rumour. A scar adds value. A limp subtracts it. Lords watch from shade, measuring which young blade might serve a border claim. Mothers glance at your horse, your harness, your chances of inheritance. Creditors stand quiet, hearing profit in applause not yet earned. Reputation flickers like bad coin in dirty palms. It rises before impact. It can fall faster. The signal drops. Your horse launches before thought can soften it. Breath hammers inside the helm. Hooves strike earth in full-beat judgment. The lance rests under your arm, blunted wood aimed at a moving man wrapped in debt and steel. You lower the point by inches. He does the same. The world narrows to visor, shoulder, timing. Impact cracks through you. Wood bursts into splinters against armor. The crowd reads skill. Your ribs record force. The marshal calls it fair. The angle was legal. The blow landed within the rule. That does not help the man whose arm bends wrong beneath the mail. Servants pull his shield away, then his helm, then the expensive pieces of him. His horse shivers, eyes white, while a handler grips the rein. A surgeon opens his roll of knives and linen. The applause keeps going. Damage accepted, rank preserved. Now the lists become a counting table. One captured knight means a ransom promise. One cracked helm means a smith paid before supper. The borrowed horse has a price if it limps. The prize saddle is claimed by 3 men with witnesses. Your hands still shake, but the clerk's hands stay clean. Victory adds numbers. Loss adds leverage. Reputation moves from shout to ledger, where ink can wound slower than wood. By dusk, your name hangs on the board in wet ink. The herald says it wrong. The crowd says it louder. A lord repeats it to a steward. A rival stores it behind his teeth. Your banner lifts above mud you still cannot afford to ignore. Level gained, public usefulness. Privacy lost. From now on, your violence travels ahead of you, offered in rooms where maps are opened and disputes need a sharper signature. Chapter 10, Level 10, A Sword with a Signature. Morning turns applause into paperwork. Your name passes through the hall with the bread, then into letters sealed for men you have never met. A steward writes it beside 2 geldings, a repair debt, 3 owed favors, and the cost of oats. Level 10 unlocks no freedom, only transfer value. Reputation, spendable. Other hands lift your name, weigh it, and place it where a threat might save coin. In the upper chamber, the fire burns for men with dry boots. A map lies pinned beneath cups and rings. Roads are lines. Mills are dots. Villages are small dark marks, easy to cover with a thumb. Your lord speaks of marriage claims, bridge tolls, old insults, and rights remembered only when useful. No one asks what you think. Your sword rests at your hip. Judgment belongs upstairs. Enforcement wears steel. You ride where the map becomes mud, a leaning stone, a cut hedge, a ditch full of brown water. Men with spears follow at your back, quiet enough to be understood. No horn sounds, no banner charge. A ploughman lowers his eyes before anyone speaks. Your horse steps through winter stubble, eating a poorer man's field by the mouthful. Objective updated, be seen. Most violence begins that way. At the village cross, the reeve reads your lord's demand with a shaking mouth. Grain. Coin. 2 carts. 6 men for ditch work. A widow counts pennies twice. A baker's wife hides flour on her sleeve. Children stare at the painted arms on your shield and learn what official fear looks like. You say little. You do not need to. Your name has become the seal pressed into other people's hunger. By dusk, a byre burns on the far edge of the claim. Smoke crawls low over frozen ruts. 3 pigs vanish before morning. Someone says an ambush waits in the alder trees. No one proves it. Proof is for courts with time to waste. You ride out with 6 men, faces wrapped, shields turned plain. A gate splinters. A man runs. Your sword answers for your lord without ink. Morning brings benches, parchment, and men pretending the night can be measured. Your lord names compensation. The other names, stolen beasts, damaged honor, 2 hostages, a boundary oath, lower tolls by the bridge. Behind them, armed retainers stand with hands on pommels. You stand among them, quiet as a drawn line. Peace becomes settlement, not mercy. A burned byre becomes numbers. An apology becomes leverage. No wound is healed. The board is reset for payment. After enough rides, your eyes choose faster. Hands that beg blur first. Hands that pay stay clear. Hands on reins matter. Hands folded in prayer become weather. You learn which tears slow an order and which only waste daylight. Choice shrinks into root, seal, witness, threat. The level rewards clean obedience. Another village. Another claim. Another claim. Another door marked for knocking with steel. Your path narrows because it is being used. Then the road rises, and stone cuts the sky. A town wall. A tower. A gate shut against your name. No village officer trembles here. No farmhouse door breaks in one blow. Your sword has a signature, but stone cannot read. The next level opens slowly. Carts, grain, timber, ropes, trenches, engines. Men count arrows. Priests count sins. Bellies count nothing but hunger. Reputation brought you here. Waiting will do the rest. Chapter 11, Level 11, Siege Season. Stone does not duel. It waits. You reach the town after the fields have paid in smoke and the gate stays shut. Banners climb above the mud. Lines are staked. Carts are counted. Grain, rope, timber, arrows, water. Orders turn open ground into camp borders. Level 11 begins without a charge. Strength drops in value. Patience rises. Supply rises higher. Time becomes the enemy with the largest health bar. Time becomes the enemy with the largest health bar. By the 3rd day, the camp grows streets. Not clean ones. Paths of trampled mud, ash, spilled broth, and piss. You sleep in wet wool with smoke in your throat. Soldiers pat shoes. Servants haul stale water. Armorers hammer dents beside latrine pits. Priests mutter over coughs. Nobles get thicker tents and better rot. The wall watches all of it. Siege gameplay is maintenance with hunger underneath. The wall is reached by inches. Men cut trenches through wet earth, fill wicker baskets, drag timber screens forward, and crawl beneath arrows they pretend not to hear. You stand above them in gloves, counting pace and depth. You guard, you curse, you threaten the slow. Then a shovel is pushed into your hands. Leather slips. Blisters open. Noble blood mixes with ditch water. Progress is mud moved by dirty fingers. The engineers speak in angles, weight, and rope. No songs mention that. Men heave the throwing arm down while wet timber groans under strain. A pin drops. A stone rises, slow and blunt, then disappears toward the wall. Sometimes it lands short and kills your own. Sometimes a rope snaps and a worker folds under wood. When it hits, stone chips. Not victory, just damage, measured by inches. Bread thins first, then broth, then patience. Inside the walls, children show ribs before knights spend honor. Outside, your camp chews sour grain and drinks water that tastes wrong. Horses are counted twice, once as wealth, once as meat. You see men looking, you look too. Hunger lowers every banner. It makes rank quieter, not kinder. You help hold the ring closed and call it duty. Fever starts without banners. One cook shakes, then a carter, then a mailed man with a family name. Fouled water does not check rank, but attendants do. Lords get shade, cloth, vinegar, prayers close to the bed. Others get flies, a cart, and a pit beyond camp. Priests work until their voices crack. You keep walking. New skill unlocked, functioning while bodies fail, and wondering who rolls next. Under a striped pavilion, the talking begins. Nobles trade titles. Envoys trade seals. Clergy soften each sentence with God. Terms appear like menu choices: ransom, safe conduct, hostages, surrender, plunder limited or allowed. Beyond the ropes, soldiers wait with hollow faces. At the wall, civilians wait thinner than law. You hear mercy priced by rank. You learn language, can sheathe a blade and keep cutting. At last, the gate gives. Not with thunder. With hinges split, planks hacked, smoke leaking through the wound. Inside, rooms are stripped bare. Bodies lie where bargaining ended. Civilians kneel with white faces and praying hands while bells shake above the roofs. Your men search chests, belts, mattresses, mouths. Siege experience gained. The reward clings like ash under your nails. You will need a priest soon. One may not be enough. Chapter 12, Level 12, Confession Between Campaigns. The church receives you badly. Your boots scrape clean stone with siege mud still in the seams. Smoke lives in your hair. Wet wool steams under your cloak. Iron, sickness, old blood, all of it enters with you. Candles stand in rows. Saints stare from painted calm. The bells sound again, but they do not drive men forward now. They pull you inward. Behind your eyes, civilians keep kneeling. Behind the screen, the priest asks for names. Pride, wrath, theft, murder. You try to sort the list like a character sheet. Orders obeyed, doors broken, bread taken, a man struck because he stood in the way, a child ignored because command moved on. The ritual is exact. Your mouth is not. Each sin needs a shape. War has taught you to make shapes disappear. The priest assigns your objectives. 3 psalms before dawn. Bread and water on Fridays. Alms for the poor. Coin for candles. Coin for masses. Coin toward the cracked church roof. Guilt becomes tasks, counted on fingers that once held reins and steel. You accept, you even mean it. But no prayer restores a crushed rib. No candle teaches a starved mouth to breathe again. Completion remains unavailable. Under glass and gold, the saint's bone waits beyond reach. Nobles lay silver. Soldiers press scarred fingers to the rail. Widows offer rings gone loose on thin hands. Servants drop bent coins. The sick crawl close, breathing wax and dust, asking a dead holy body to speak for their breaking ones. You watch the same shrine receive every class. Need is equal. Nearness is not. At the front of the nave, you lower yourself where sight lines meet. Neon stone. Hands joined. Head bowed beneath your Lord's glance, beneath painted saints, beneath the priest who knows which men own fields and which men scrub them. You pray because fear is real. You pray because rank is watched. Behind you, lesser men quiet themselves. A knight kneeling teaches obedience twice, once to God, once to the room. The Amen leaves your mouth. Nothing leaves your chest. In the side aisle, away from watching eyes, you count what you forgot to confess. Not disbelief. Worse, fear with teeth. Maybe the priest heard too little. Maybe God heard enough. The penance sits in your mind like an unfinished status effect, pulsing under the ribs. Outside, a horse stamps. Somewhere, orders are already becoming ink. The summons finds you before the candle smoke clears. A rider waits in the yard, mud to his knees, seal cracked by impatient thumbs. Your lord requires men, horses, armor, 3 days' bread. Level objective updated, ride again. You fold the notice with hands that just begged mercy. Then those hands check girths, oil mail, test straps, feel the sword edge. Confession changes the soul's record. It does not cancel service. So this is the checkpoint, not peace. A priest's words settle over you, solemn and needed, but the road still owns your boots. Faith gives shape to fear. It does not free you from oath, lord, debt, horse, blade. You have confessed, prayed, paid, knelt and trembled. Veteran life begins with clearer sight. Water can rinse the skin. Your hands remember what it cannot reach. Chapter 13, Level 13, Veteran Difficulty. The church door closes behind you. No reset triggers, no wound seals. The words remain, heavy as wet wool, but innocence does not reload. Level 13 begins with fewer chances to be stupid. You know what a bad order costs. You know which mud hides a grave. You know prayer can steady the hands without clearing their record. Advancement is real, so is the damage carried forward. Mourning selects the oldest damage first. The shoulder that took a mace. The knee that hates stairs. Scar tissue pulls when you reach for the basin. Your teeth ache in cold water. Sleep comes thin, broken by hoof sounds that are not there. Small cuts stay angry for days. Youth believed the body was equipment. Veteran skill begins when you stop believing the tool is clean, loyal, or endless. Fear no longer arrives screaming. It arrives early, useful, almost polite. You see it in mud too soft for hooves, in a horse's pinned ears, in a shield strap hanging loose from a young man's arm, in tired eyes under a bright banner, in ground that slopes wrong, in a commander smiling before he has counted the ditch. You are not braver, you are afraid with better information. Then younger faces start checking yours before they move. A nod becomes permission. A raised hand becomes delay. You place men by hedge, ditch, gate, road. You tell one to hold. You tell another to ride. Their mouths go dry, but they obey because rank has entered your voice. Authority unlocks quietly, no trumpet. Just the knowledge that your decision can spend a body and leave its name for someone else to carry. Some names do not leave the roster. Martin, who laughed through broken teeth. Odo, paid 3 pennies short because the clerk forgot his last month. Giles, still listed beside a horse already sold. You hear them at prayer. You notice the empty place near the fire and say nothing. The roll records service badly. The purse records it worse. Grief keeps its own account, private, accurate, unpaid. By now, you read the horse before the horizon, foam at the bit, heat under the saddle, a limp hidden by pride and terror. Once, it looked like status with hooves. Now it is coin, weapon, debt, and failing bridge. You loosen girths, check shoes, save strength for the charge that may never come, lose the horse and rank changes shape, ransom rises, survival goes on foot. In the command tent, your skill becomes furniture. Lords bend over painted lines, rivers, mills, towns, claims. You stand behind them with mud on your boots and answers in your mouth. This road will starve the carts. That ford will break horses. Those men are too cold to march fast. They listen, they nod. Then they choose anyway. Veteran rank grants you sight, not ownership. Experience is valuable because it can be spent. Behind you, younger shoulders fill the yard. They mount faster, heel cleaner, laugh before weather changes. Your armor pinches at the belly, drags at the knees, remembers a shape you no longer keep. Land waits behind the campaign map. Sons, nephews, wards, all measured by eye. The reward for mastery is seeing the slot you occupy. Temporary, necessary, already contested. Somewhere, in a colder hall, Rust begins its quiet tutorial. Chapter 14, Level 14, Land, Airs, and Rust. The hall receives you like an old wound. Same stone, same smoke, same cold biting through the rushes. The bells still divide the day into prayer, meal, order, silence. Only the seating has changed. Servants lower their eyes and wait for your hand to move. You own the room that once taught you fear. Inside the title, the child remains. Domestic life unlocks. No rest screen, just another command menu. Parchment look clean in campaign tents. Here, every line leaks. A boundary is a ditch full of rain. A mill is a quarrel over grain. Woods mean pigs, firewood, fines, and angry mouths. Tenants bring thin coin and thinner patience. The reeve brings accounts that limp. Above you, greater lords demand their share. Level reward, land. Actual mechanic, mud, custom, resentment, and numbers that refuse to kneel. Marriage enters the ledger beside oats, rents, and repairs. Her dowry is not a gift. It is roof, field, kin, claim. Your name gives her household a shield. Her blood gives yours a future. Hands meet before witnesses. Bells approve. Affection may grow in the spaces between childbirth, accounts, and winter stores. Good if it does. Fatal if the house depends on it. Alliance is the rule. Tenderness is the rule. Tenderness is surplus. In the yard, a child swings a wooden sword at a post and grins when it thuds. Bad guard, wide feet, too much joy. You remember that lie. Wood once made the world simple. Strike, win, be praised. Around him, the household teaches faster than any master. Who bows, who eats less. When bells stop play, which hands pray, which hands pray, which hands hit. He learns rank before words, obedience before mercy. Cold weather opens the old damage first. Shoulder, ribs, knee. Each one reports in before the reeve does. After a long ride, your hands tremble over the seal. After accounts, the quill leaves scratches where letters should stand. Stairs become negotiations. You still command. You still judge rents, horses, sons, servants. But the first equipment is failing. It needs heat, oil, rest. It lies badly now. It needs heat, oil, rest. It lies badly now. The armor no longer waits beside your bed. It stands in the corner, stuffed with shadow, too costly to discard and too heavy to desire. Servants oil the joints with careful hands. Rust still finds the seams. Children stare at the dents as if they are stories. They are not. They are impacts that missed bone or did not. Status remains in the steel. So does fear. The weapon is becoming a relic while you are still alive. They stand him before you like a young horse at market, back straight, chin lower, hands still. He bows, recites, crosses himself, reads enough Latin to impress a tired priest. In the yard, his seat is judged. At table, his silence. In whispers, his marriage price. Your lord asks if he will be useful. You hear the real question. Can this title keep eating after you are gone? Beyond the shutter, the fields keep asking. Seed, rent, repair. Another dispute at the mill. Inside, bread is counted, linen mended, prayers murmured on schedule. Your air drills until dusk, wooden sword dark with sweat. The armor waits under oil, losing the war by inches. You feel the next level loading without your hands. Ink will keep your name. Songs will polish it. They will not remember the weight. Chapter 15. Level 15. The song forgets the weight. Final level. Title unchanged. Sir, still. The word survives what the body cannot. You sit near the hearth while the household roots around you, servants with ledgers, kin with lowered voices, children warned not to stare. Your legs answer slowly, your breath costs more. Beside the wall, the armor keeps its shape better than you do. No victory screen appears. Only debts, reduced movement, and objects waiting patiently for your absence. Now the harness is brought into the light, not worn. Appraised. A dented breastplate. Rust at the rivets. New leather where old straps rotted through. Dried campaign mud still packed inside, seams no servant can reach. Your heirs touch it with careful hands and counting eyes. Steel has finished its upgrade path. Aspiration became equipment. Equipment became debt. Debt became debt. Debt became inheritance. They do not feel your breath inside it. They feel value. A child slips past the bench and lifts the practice blade. Too large for him, too light to teach him. He grins at its harmless weight, then glances toward the real sword resting beside your harness. That one makes him stand straighter. Already he understands the trick. Wood is permission. Steel is rank. His small hands close around the future, and the system marks another body before yours has left the room. Clerks do the saving now. Your name enters rolls, accounts, charters, a chronicle margin. Land held, service rendered, heir confirmed. The ink dries black and obedient. Around it, other lives disappear without spelling. Carter in the road ditch. Tenant under winter soil. Servant buried behind the chapel wall. Men who carried your weight vanish into mud. The record keeps the noble. The field keeps the rest. On the table, the map is opened again. Your hand no longer reaches it. A daughter's marriage shifts one field. A debt eats a mill. A lord's seal pulls a boundary back toward his own hunger. Men point, argue, inherit, pledge, and claim. Your life moved a few lines briefly. It never owned the board. The pieces keep sliding after you, smooth as bone on polished wood. The bells begin before your breathing stops. Slow iron notes. Familiar command. A priest bends close with oil, Latin, and a practiced face. Your hands are folded because they can no longer choose the shape. Prayer returns by habit first, then fear. You know the words. You do not know the verdict. Confession, penance, service, blood, rent, hunger. None of it balances cleanly. The last door opens without showing the room beyond. Later, a singer finds the clean version. He keeps the banner bright. He keeps the charge, the vow, the title before your name. His voice gives you courage on cue. It leaves out the empty bowls, the borrowed coin, the fever carts, the servants with cracked hands. No child cries behind a taken gate. No old man sleeps under 40 pounds of rust. The mud is cut for rhythm. The hall approves. Morning finds what remains. Armor on its stand. A wooden sword beside the chest. A folded map under another hand. A cracked spur and empty bridle hang where the horse gear used to wait. Outside, the bell keeps counting hours for men who still answer. Your name passes to an heir, lighter than steel and heavier than childhood knew. Level by level, rank was given. Breath, blood, fear, and years were taken.